Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're just going to make scones, delicious scones. So we're going to just take our bowl, we're going to sieve our self-raising flour because it's really good to get a nice lot of air into that in case you've got any lumpy bits in your flour. So just give that a really good sieve. Now we've sieved our flour, so that's all lovely. Now we're going to add a good pinch of salt. We're going to add our baking powder. And we're going to just rub our really cold butter into our flour with our hands. So we're going to pop our ice cold butter in here. It must be ice cold, not warm, because you want, otherwise it's all going to go greasy and horrible. And then get properly involved in it. So we're just going to make this into breadcrumbs. It looks like breadcrumbs basically. Pop it through our fingers. We don't want to touch it too much. I know that sounds crazy because you are touching it, but you want to, with scones, you want everything to be as light as possible. So we're just going to literally rub that butter into the flour until you've got the consistency of breadcrumbs. So as you can see now, it actually looks like breadcrumbs, which is great. So it's all really nicely incorporated because you don't want big lumps of butter in there. That's not going to be a good look. So that's fab. And now we're going to add our caster sugar. Just pop that in there as well. And then just give that a good old stir around. I mean, we had hands before spoons, so let's use hands. We're just going to make a little well in the center like that because we're going to add our milk. Pop it all in. This is the fun bit. We're just going to literally bring all of those bits together. Now, what you do not want to do is mix it too much. So actually what I'm going to do now is I'm going to wash my hands and I'm going to use a spoon. So now I'm just going to use a spoon to bring that together rather than the heat of my hands. And the reason I don't want to use the heat of my hands is because that butter will continue to melt and then it makes the dough really heavy, and you don't want that because what you want is the lightest scones in the world. So literally just bring that together. And if you notice, I'm not actually, my hands aren't touching it, but you can see it's nicely coming together, and that is absolutely perfect. All we want to do now is just tip that out onto a floured surface. So we're just going to flour the surface and your hands. Pop your mixture on the surface like that, and now we want to touch it as little as humanly possible. So let's just take that out the way. And really what you want to do is you just want to get it so it's smooth, but not too smooth. I know it sounds mad, but you really want to touch it. Make sure you've got some flour on your hands as well. So now we're just going to bring it together, okay, but don't handle too much. And then we're just going to push it down, but I want my scones to be quite high and nice. And I'm just going to push it out like that, and I think that's probably quite a nice height. And I'm going to grab my cutter and I'm just going to cut. Now, they're always brilliant the first time you cut them, okay? But then when you bring the mixture together again, sometimes they can go a bit wonky. So the first lot will be great. I'll show you what I mean when we've cooked them. The mixture, and I can't cut any more out, so I'm just going to bring it together again, okay? And look, I don't want too much flour, and then I just want to pat it down again, bring it together, pat down, and then do another one. And then I can do one more out of that. In fact, I'm probably not even going to cut that. I'm just going to mould it into it. That sounds mad, but... And there we go. And there's your last one. Now, once you've done that, pop them on a baking tray, and then you egg wash them. So I'm going to pop them on a piece of baking parchment. We go like that. There we are. They're big scones. So we've got a big, nice, scony mess coming up. So I'm going to take my egg wash. I've got a little whisk, which was given to me, which I absolutely love. So this is just 2 eggs in here, but probably 1 egg's probably enough. I've probably overdone it. So just give that a nice whisk. We're just going to get rid of that. Now, this is important. Do not egg wash down the sides. What egg wash does is it's a bit like glue. So if you put egg wash down the sides by a mistake even, what will happen is it will stop them from rising. So you don't want that to happen. So you're just going to literally just brush the top. I'm using a really nice Le Creuset silicone brush. I absolutely love it. So just brush the top with egg wash, and then we're going to put them into our preheated oven, and it's at 220, so maximum, for about 10 minutes until they're golden brown and delicious. And with scones, you want to make them, you want to cook them, and then you want to eat them as quickly as possible. So we've done that, and we're now going to pop them into the oven. So in they go, and we'll be back in 10. I think they might be ready. So let's have a look. Whoa, look at those beauties. So there we go. So I'm going to pop them onto my cooling rack. Obviously I have asbestos hands, so they're quite rustic, which we like. And I'm just going to bring that, look at those, over here. So you need to let them cool a bit, because I know that's quite difficult, because obviously you want to eat them immediately. But I'm just let these cool, and now I'm just going to get my knife, and I'm just going to cut through that. Oh, they're so light. Perfect idea is obviously leave them to cool, but I've cut one open because in a minute I want to put my clotted cream in my jam just to finish it off. Okay, so the scone has now cooled enough for me to add my clotted cream. Oh, I mean, this is just the best, isn't it? And they're so light and they're so fresh. And as I said before, when you make scones, they need to be made, cooked, and eaten straight away, obviously. So let's get loads of that clotted cream on there. Oh my goodness. And now, and I'm a cream girl and then the jam, but that's very controversial. And then we'll put a nice bit of jam on there. Layer it on thick. You know, don't be shy. If you're going to eat a scone, you need a lot of jam and you need a lot of cream. And there it is. And there we have it. Your lovely fresh scones, clotted cream and jam. I think I should try it. Delicious. 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 Look at those delicious scones with clotted cream and jam. Delicious. I'm going to do that again.
Yeah, because it's funny. That's your strap line. Okay. Strap on. Okay.
So look at these scones with clotted cream and jam. Delicious.